The Palacios Foundation is participating in the GitHub Externship for 2021. What is the GitHub Externship? Well, as you may know, it's a 90-day fellowship program in which third or pre-final year students from various Indian universities get an opportunity to work on open source projects. Students get mentors, we try to promote collaboration, students get experience, and also visible GitHub contributions that they can use later on in life. So what about the Palisadoes Foundation? Who are we? We're a non-profit organization and we are led by the Jamaican diaspora. We promote technology usage on the island of Jamaica. There's a focus on software education. We also have a number of IT professional volunteers who provide assistance. And we have been doing a number of these various types of outreach programs similar to the GitHub Externship through the financing from local corporate sponsors. And of course, in 2021, we are a GitHub Externship participant. So until now, we have been working on a program very similar to the GitHub Externship, and we called it the Calico Challenge. We're not having that this year because we want to focus our resources on the GitHub Externship and other programs. But this will give you some ideas to what we were about. We created open source projects. They were sponsored by Jamaican companies. We've had 5 years of success. And these are a number of the Jamaican companies, from large and small companies on the island of Jamaica, and also overseas in the United States and Canada. And so what next? What do we really want to do in 2021 and beyond? Well, we want to have a global reach. We want projects that are focused on developing regions with a community development focus. And we also want to have projects that can earn an income for the Palisadoes Foundation. The pandemic has taught us that we cannot rely on donations from our usual sources, and we need to find a way in which we can augment the donation pool through some sort of income earning activity. And we feel that we can do that with some of our software projects. We were very open about this in our application for the GitHub Externship, and we will discuss what that means in a little later. And the key to all of this is the Talawa mobile app. It's a community group management mobile app that focuses on community organizations like clubs, neighborhood groups, volunteer associations, non-profits, and even small religious institutions. And we have a number of goals for it for 2021. Well, firstly, we want to make sure that we are a part of the GitHub Externship for 2022. We want to have Talawa operate as a cloud service in which we can have organizations be able to use our service as a subscription. And then we also want the cloud service to allow us to have multi-organization hosting on one or more servers. We want to have stability, and we want to have 100% automated testing because we are going to try to see how we can make this be a global endeavor, not just for the Jamaican environment. So we have a number of possible ideas for 2021. Some of these ideas are actively being engaged in, so I really encourage you to take a look at possible ideas. And there are many of them. If you go to our GitHub page, which we will have at the very end of this discussion, there will be links to the various ideas that we have. And here are some of them. Some of these ideas are actively being worked on right now. So I recommend to you that you look through the GitHub issues that we have in existence, correlate them to what we have as ideas, and then from there, make suggestions about your projects. And so we'd like to find ways in which we can have plugins for an administration portal for the mobile app, so that we can have multiple organizations being created, create administrators, sub-administrators, supervisors, those sorts of things. The possibility for volunteers to check in for events so that we can know how many people will actually be attending, whether it be a concert, a wedding, any sort of related event. That would be something that would be very interesting for people to know. We want to also be able to handle donations from external parties, donations from volunteers themselves. We want to also handle outreach management. groups management. There may be subgroupings, youth clubs. There could be a sports club in which they have different levels of teams at different age groups, different genders, those sorts of things. We want to figure out ways in which we can have some management related to that. And also member management. Different organizations may have different members with different skills. Some people may know how to play football very well. Some people may know basketball. Some people may sing very well. And many times people don't remember who does what, when, and where. And so, with this sort of a member management system, we could create something that would be meaningful to the organization. Then we'd also need to have event registration so that people can know what's happening in the calendar, and also facilities registrations where people may want to reserve a room, a hall, a field, a court, whether it be basketball court or it could be in terms of cricket, could be a cricket pitch, those sorts of things. Those sorts of registrations would be useful as well. Different ways in which you could plan different types of services and activities, a volunteer day, a sports day, those sorts of things would be interesting to try and think of. And then also with all these various types of activities, to have some way in which you can have social media reminders and various types of notifications. There's some deprecated features that I really would like you to pay attention to. We need to remove these features from the current app. At the moment, in the app, you can create organizations within the app itself. And that has led to a number of issues in which people can create organizations, invite people to their organization, and then people within that organization can create sub-organizations. And so it becomes unwieldy with time. And we really want to see how we can move that into the cloud and the admin portal of Talawa, which is under the Talawa admin GitHub repository. And then we also want to get rid of a number of the in-app organizational management functions and move those into the admin portal. And so those things would be like, for example, setting up a payment gateway, the handling of donations through a payment gateway. Many of those things won't do well with an app. The organizations usually want to have a relationship with a fixed IP address that they can work with, and so the application server would be a good single source for that, whereas a mobile device will have a different IP address and those sorts of and various types of security features that would not necessarily be in keeping with current standards of payment gateways. What do we need in order to get these goals done? Well, we need the best students globally. What do we mean by the best? Well, we want good ideas. We want meaningful pull requests. That's really important. Doing a pull request to change text or do typos, that's not really what we want. We want meaningful pull requests. We want students to create issues, ask to work on those issues, and then be assigned them. Don't just put the pull requests in and expect them to be approved. We need to have a trail so that the mentors know that it's in keeping with the overall strategy of the projects. And if you go to our GitHub repositories, there are contributing.md files which explain all of this in a great deal of detail. We want students that are knowledgeable enough, that they have relatively light supervision, that they're reliable, that they come to meetings or they come to the check-ins with their mentors on a regular basis, that they have knowledge of the various types of frameworks, that they can create stable, testable code, the code is readable, and that the documentation is excellent. These are the types of things that we need. It's not just the ability to put out good quality code. Quality has a variety of meanings. You could have excellent code for an idea that is not relevant. You could be somebody that does a large amount of code, but needs a lot of supervision because you don't follow some of the tenets that we want, such as stability or maybe readability. And that's really important. And we want to make sure that we have mature students that can meet the various deadlines that we have. Now, there's going to be many, many students applying for the GitHub Externship, and maybe not all of you will be successful. And so we also have the ability to provide academic coursework recommendations. We will do that based on meaningful, consistent contributions to Talawa projects for the summer of 2021. And so work on a plan with mentors if this is the situation in your particular case. So we really encourage you to do it. We will be there to provide you with support. What are the strategies for success? Visit our GitHub projects, visit the project websites, fork the repos, review issues, contact the mentors, get clarifications, build rapport, work on features, and of course, apply. Before we go, let's discuss the technologies that we are using in Talawa. The Talawa mobile app is written in Flutter. It interacts with a back-end API which stores all the data, the objects, images, sound, etc. in a MongoDB database using Node.js as the application server. Most of the interaction is through a GraphQL interface. The cloud application, the administration aspects of creating new organizations, etc., are done through the Talawa admin portal, which interacts with the Talawa API. The Talawa admin portal is written in React. Get familiar with these technologies, read upon them, get involved, find out more, and we will welcome you to the community. Go to our GitHub account, github.com/Palisadoes Foundation. Click on the links for each repository. Each repository has a link to our documentation. The documentation has a list of ideas and desired features that we would want. There are links there in the documentation specifically for the GitHub Externship, in which you will be able to see information related to how to get on our mailing list, how to join our Slack channel, how to get in contact with us, etc. Thank you very much, and good luck.